All right, welcome back to Lean and Green Healthcare, the podcast where we explore the people, ideas, and innovations transforming healthcare operations. Today, I'm very excited to welcome Abdulmajeed Almushiti, a biomedical engineer who is passionate about operational excellence and healthcare transformation. Abdulmajeed is a senior consultant in biomedical engineering. He has helped healthcare institutions implement sustainable, efficient, and patient-focused technology solutions. And you consult with hospitals and institutions to design, optimize biomedical engineering departments, helping them to improve their operations, compliance, and staff development. In this episode, what we are going to explore is his personal journey, the evolving role of the biomedical engineer, and practical strategies to optimize biomedical operations, as well as the vision of Abdul on the future of the profession. Thank you very much and welcome on the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm very good, thank you, and pleasure to be here today with you.
Hi, Abdulmajid. So maybe you can start by a quick introduction about yourself, how you got into biomedical engineering.
Uh, I decided to study biomedical engineering back in 2011, and the reason is because this specialty it's a mixture between engineering and medicine, and that was fascinating me as a youth at that time. Um, I don't know. I took the challenge that I don't have so much information, so much knowledge about this specialty, and I did it, and here I am today.
And there was nobody in your family or anyone who had been a biomedical engineer. There was not like a
No,
mentor, someone who introduced you to that field.
no, there was no one. It's the first one. Yes.
And then basically, how does the training happens in Saudi? I know there are many different universities, institutions, but where did you study and how did you get into like the internships and then you landed your first job? Because seeing where you started and where you are right now.
Yes, I studied in Riyadh, bachelor degree in biomedical engineering, and my internship was a 1 year as a trainee engineer, and it was between the National Guard Hospital and one of the Ministry of Health hospitals in Riyadh also. So it was a 12 months, and it was the first year that I work as a trainee engineer.
And that immediately converted into your first job, or how did you then pursue and grow your career basically?
After graduation, I decided uh, to go to the postgrad school. So I went to the UK to do a master's in the healthcare quality and safety. And after that, the first job was for me with the King Saud Medical City as a quality engineer.
How do you define quality exactly? Is it the certifications mostly? Is it making sure like the maintenance is done on time, those kind of things? Can you maybe explain to someone who is outside of the field? Even I don't have the degree, just to make it more easy to understand.
Let's say that quality in biomedical engineering, it's like the book that you go every time you have questions, and there is a book. It has all the answers. It guides everyone who's specialized in this specialty to let him do what he needs to do exactly. So from regulations, from the standards, from the policies and procedures, and from the strategic goals for your department or for your organization, all this kind of aspects. It's also at all the time it reflects on the biomedical engineering quality.
Okay. So I'm guessing there is a huge part of audit that comes into play, right? So when you arrive in a new department, how do you go through like all the procedures? How do you make sure everything is being followed properly? Like right now, I know as you are a consultant, you must have kind of those framework to understand what is the status quo within the hospital, and you can kind of benchmark to know where you need to go basically. So how does that audit looks like?
Well, it depends on the goal of the audit that you have. Is it an audit that you are doing just as a requirement for some standard, or just is it to make sure that uh, your work is doing good? So you can make it customized as per your goal from the audit, And from that point, you can, find how your audit looks like. It will be different from each audit to another audit.
And then, so you act primarily as a internal auditor, and is it also your auditor and also you help them to get to the quality standards as per the accreditations? But then are you the main point of contact in that case during the accreditation process? Let's say JCI, for example. Um, are you the one who is going to be preparing most of the documentation and like all the processes and all the reports for the accreditations as well?
Exactly. That's the part of the quality engineer in the biomedical engineering department. Uh, once you have a visit, or let's just say an external audit from JCI or Sibahi or etc. And this point, the quality engineer should look after the standards that they made it for the facility management or for the biomedical engineering department. So from that point, the quality engineer can start. They can, decide what are the standards, the map of the standard, and they can point at which part they start. They they follow the guidelines and the instructions.
Okay. And do you see, I mean, when you started a few years ago and today, do you see like an evolution in the profession, both as a biomedical engineer and quality specialist? And today, do you see like that the regulations are changing and that basically the job of the quality specialist is now becoming more critical? Or is it like technology is playing a huge role and you feel that basically you are becoming more of a leader within the organization, supervising the workflow, or how does that evolve over time?
A few years back, it was by the BME department in any hospital. Maybe it was just a group of people who they are fixing medical equipment. But now
Yeah.
maybe you can find 10 different roles. The one who is specialized in integrating medical equipment to HIS system. The other one who is responsible of the quality and the strategy of the department. You can find some people who they are planning a floor map for a new building in the hospital. IoT, cybersecurity, assessment of need, all of these are different, let's just say subspecialties inside the biomed. And that was on, or maybe I think this is the revolution that we are having now in the field, as we have, as I just said, like maybe more than 6 or 7 field sub specialties in the biomedical engineering. And
So we're going more towards
it's
hyper
now,
specialization, basically.
sorry.
We're going more towards hyper specialization. Like people will be very specific to one area, one domain of expertise.
Exactly, exactly, yeah, exactly. And that's just for now. A few years later, I don't know, maybe there will be more different subspecialties in AI, IoT, etc., robotics, all of these subspecialties.
And today, in your daily work, so as a consultant, but also within your work within a hospital, do you see like any tools, for example, or technologies that were not there maybe 5 years back or 10 years back that are now like core to your work and that are also part of your KPIs as a biomedical engineer, like tools that you use on daily basis, for example?
Well, let's just say that I'm not old to tell you about how it was like 10 years or 15 years back, but I think for most of the hospitals in Saudi Arabia, the data analysis aspect and KPIs, it's let's just say that it's a newborn methodology that we have in each PME department. So the biomed engineers, they started to be, you know, they count on data analysis and the data that we get from the CMS, from the system, from the KPIs. Well, it's just like tell us, just like what we should do exactly, and that's what we are counting on, at the moment.
And when you mention data analysis, are you also responsible because you have the budget aspect, you have the maintenance aspect, and you have the planning as well. So when it comes to getting funding or approvals for new equipment, new purchases, how does the return on investment calculation happens? I'm guessing you also play a role into assessing the need for new equipment based on actual usage rate of a specific equipment and the cost of that equipment across its entire life cycle. Because you know how much the machine costs, you know the maintenance cost, the new spare parts that you had to purchase. So how does that come in together basically?
As I said, data analysis, maybe it will be, the thing that it will make it clear for us, or it will make it beneficial when we talk about the systems that we are using. So, based on our needs in the hospital or in the facility that we are working on, from that point, you can say that this technology or this CMMS, it would be beneficial for me, and the capabilities for this system, it would be, I can just say that this capabilities, it's fine for me. I'm a I'm a hospital. I lead this department. I can find or tell what requirements that I should have, and from that aspect, we can just say that this is my requirements, this is my needs, and these needs should be applied in this CMS.
Okay. And maybe you can tell us more about the relationship that, a hospital has with its subcontractors or maintenance support service companies, basically. I'm curious about, you have seen different settings, and I'm guessing Saudi is the same as other markets where one hospital will have, let's say, thousands of assets which are serviced by different, like maybe 10 different companies, 15 different companies, maybe even sometimes freelancers. How do you basically track their performance? And how do you make sure that the standards that you have also align with the work that they do?
Tracking them depends on how are they functioning. If I have a contractor that they work with me in the hospital, it will be different from the other contractors who they are doing visits. But in both ways, a great documentation, great monitoring tools, great maybe dashboards that we can make. All of these tools, maybe let's just say that it will make it easy for me to track what they are doing exactly today and how are they performing. Based on what? Based on the contract that we have with them. So Saudi hospitals right now, there is two different strategy of services in the biomedical engineering department, the in-house and or the contractors, the in-house who they are 100% from the hospital staff. They are doing the maintenance and etc. And the contractors, no, they are doing the service for the biomedical engineering department in the hospital, and the staff of supervise them as per the contract that they have with the contractor.
Yeah. And does your CMMS integrate with their own system? Or how do you basically, let's say, check the performance based on the contract? Like, can you basically define in the settings what are the standards? And basically it compares directly with the actual SLA time, for example, and it beeps, like it shows you an alert that, there is let's say a 95% uptime in the contract. And then you see that, okay, this month they were late like 2, 3 times basically, and then you can claim the money back or something like that. Is it something that is there already, or is it more you combine your CMMS with the what you observe on the field and you take note, and then you club all the data and you then take decisions?
Public hospitals who they use contractors, usually the contractors who they provide the CMMS, and it's accessible for the leadership of the BME department. So by this, let's just say, authority that they have, they can view their responsibilities, their tasks, their job every day, as they are involved also in the cycle of fixing medical equipment or requesting, like just say, for example, a spare part or etc. And there is like a bridge between who they supervise the contractor and the contractor themselves. And all of that, it happens inside the CMMS. So that's why the CMMS should be advanced as much as it could be possible, because data analysis tools and the AI specifications, the IoT, etc. All of these new technologies now, or new uh, you know
Bringing
aspects
progress,
that
yeah.
we have, it should be, let's just say we move on with the technology that we have. And as we have it in the system, we can just use it like to get the data that we want or the information that we want.
So you're saying each subcontractor has a specific CMMS. For example, company A is using one and they are servicing 50 assets. Then company B is servicing 100 assets and they have their own CMMS. So they will give the hospital a license access to their own CMMS for you to report issues and to track the service request, or maybe I didn't
Exactly.
understand it fully. Is it like that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Let's just say it's not 100% a rule, but sometimes that's what it happens. Sometimes, no, the hospital or the biomedical engineering department, they provide the CMMS by themselves. But whatever it happens, it's the same strategy that's just I told you before that it happens. The contractors or the subcontractors, they are using the system to receive calls from the medical staff regarding medical equipment. And once we deal with these calls, after that, the supervisors, they can just monitor their performance in the system and how they are performing.
Okay. And is there something that you think should be improved? Like maybe, the system is not perfect, so you have been using your own tools that you built on the side. I know it happens in some hospitals where, okay, you take an off-the-shelf solution, but then it's not perfect. So you ask your IT guys to build something, or maybe you have your own Excel, which has all the formula and everything. How do you basically compensate the gap in the current solutions that you're using?
Exactly. It's depending on the, let's just say, the needs of the BME department. Sometimes, yes, you're right, the CMMS doesn't help 100% the biomedical engineers, and sometimes they need to maybe alternatives to do the data analysis, for example. And they started using another tools. They maybe started using like Power BI, so for example, to create dashboards and etc. And all of this happens because maybe sometimes the CMS doesn't help the BME 100%, and they started to know to find alternatives just to complete the gap that they have, for example, creating KPIs and dashboards. So in this case, they would use another tool to create them. And that maybe I think one example of the missing parts from the CMS. And that's why biomed engineers, they using different tools.
And those, for example, I know Power BI is not easy to handle to get started with because I've been using it also in a previous job. Do you feel that the current, let's say, training of biomed in the country or anywhere globally is preparing you well enough to become more of a data analyst into BME, or do you find that it will be great if basically the training is also preparing you for that shift?
I think it's important. Now, for example, if you tell me what an advice you could deliver to a student in the college or he
Yeah,
just graduated, data analysis, it's maybe one of the most important, aspects that you should
skill.
be familiar with, or maybe expert if you could, because um, either way, if you work for a service as a service engineer in the hospital or a sales engineer in a company or etc. All of these roles, the data analysis, skills that will help you definitely 100% new work. Let's just say that it's what makes sometimes a junior engineer special once he have or she have a knowledge or experience using, for example, Excel or Power BI or
Probably.
any other tool.
And you have never been tempted to go on the other side and work for a company, like a private company, into the supply of medical equipment or a service contractor? You have never been tempted?
Well, actually, each engineer or each passionate engineer always have the curiosity, to try all the angles from of the specialty, a hospital, academic parts of a company, or etc. For the moment, I think I still find it exciting for me as a one who is working in a hospital as a primary job, and I also have some,
Projects and
free
consulting.
or freelance or part-time, services that I do. But as a primary job, working in a hospital, it's still, very useful for me. And I think there's still more things that, maybe I need to explore first.
Yeah. And can you maybe explain what you do exactly on your part-time? Like, which gap do you address in the market to support the development of the skills and the profession in the country?
The gap is the educational part for the specialty. Now, I work with the institute that will be delivering courses and workshops, consulting services with the field of biomedical engineering. And I believe this role it would, add so much value to the field of biomedical engineering in Saudi Arabia, and it will be a transformative, step for me to be giving an extra effort in biomedical engineering beside my primary job.
Okay. And concretely, what are the core, let's say, services that you offer as part of the institute? You mentioned education. I'm guessing it's mixed because you have a quality background. Is it more towards obtaining the right certifications? Is it more about training engineers on reaching the accreditations? How does it materialize concretely?
That's one part of the services, but also there will be more choices or more available, more choices and more courses that it could be delivered in the future with the institute. I will not be leading all the courses because I'm specialized maybe in the quality management, but also there will be people who they are delivering courses in the planning on the cybersecurity of the medical equipment and the specialized courses for the medical equipments, from the anesthesia, from the dialysis, and etc. So it will be a full, let's just say, a full list of biomedical engineering specialties, and that all
Yeah.
will be delivered by this institute.
And how does it align with the vision of the kingdom for 2030? Do you see, I mean, the healthcare landscape is going to change completely with the privatization, which is ongoing. Do you feel that actually it's the right time to upskill the BME in the kingdom and contribute to a better healthcare system? Is it something that basically you think is the right time right now to get into BME and and that's why the institute?
Exactly, yeah. As you said, the healthcare transformation, it's one of the, let's just say, hot topics when you speak about the Vision 2030. And in order to have a great benchmark in the healthcare system, you need to have a well specialized, educated engineers. And from that point, let's just say that each engineer should start by educating himself about alternative skills and alternative subspecialties that or she can give more efforts or maybe find themselves in this subspecialty, and that part it would change the future of the biomedical engineering in the future of the healthcare system.
How can a BME who is getting started in his career reach your level in terms of profession? Like you have had a very high, fast-paced career, and right now you're getting into also the consulting part. You are going to give back also to the community. If someone is looking up to the profession, what would you advise them in 2025?
Um, Well, maybe I mentioned this earlier. The new technology that we have today, the AI, the IoT, the robotics, um, equipments that we have, all of these, maybe let's just say there is a chance or a possibility for each engineer to be one of the pioneers who they are specialized in biomedical engineering and also in the AI in healthcare in general.
Okay. And concretely, you would tell them,
Beside the data analysis skills, of course,
yes.
as I find it one of the critical and important skills that each engineer should have. Beside the integrating medical equipments into the healthcare systems, the HIS, I think these three aspects or these three categories, it would be very helpful and very informative for each, let's just say, graduated person.
So you would advise them to do more projects on the side of their studies, on the side of their work, to learn new skills, discover new things, to basically not only focus only on the hardcore work of a BME, but also to get different perspectives onto the profession, basically, if I can summarize it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just say that sometimes once they have, an extra time and they want to, explore a new skill or a new certificate they are working for, or they are working hard to get, any new, expertise in different skills. So these are the skills that I suggest for everyone, and just accept it's not makes them confused between prioritizing their original job and the another skills.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Abdulmajeed. If people want to follow you, what is the best way? Is it on LinkedIn to keep to stay updated about your work?
Exactly. Uh, Exactly, LinkedIn. I think it would be, the platform that it's maybe taking most of my time at the
Okay.
moment.
So I'm gonna be sharing your LinkedIn in the description. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.